Good morning, everyone. Excuse me, got to clear my throat. Drinking a little coffee right here. Uh, I'm going to create something called the Ego Chronicles. And if you haven't invested in a book called Ego is the Enemy, you might want to do that. Fine line between ego, confidence, arrogance, and having the right amount of humility. Excuse me. So I'm gonna create something called the Ego Chronicles. So from time to time, I'm gonna talk about pride. I'm gonna talk about ego, double-edged sword. So let's get into it, shall we? Yeah, Deon Cole. If you haven't seen his new stand-up, I highly recommend it. Give some outstanding wisdom when it comes to. He sets it up this way that whoever he's with, as far as female companionship, she's got to be able to appreciate the female body, the female beauty as much, the womanly beauty as much as he does. And he's not going to stop looking at and complimenting beautiful women. And he says, as all men hopefully should feel. You know, I know it's harder when you're younger, but I'm telling you this right now. Start cultivating this skill, start cultivating this ability right now, especially if you're like Mr. Cole that enjoys looking at, not enjoys, that sounds so salacious and shit, that hey, if he sees a sexy woman, he's gonna say, yeah, she's sexy, and he wants his woman to say the same, yeah, she is a sexy bitch. And vice versa. When my wife says, yeah, you know, he's sexy. That brother, he got it going on. My reply to that is not to get upset and to get jealous as if I'm the only sexy motherfucker walking the earth. It's to say, yeah, he get bitches. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Thank you, Deon. I love that. Start using that. Yeah, you know, my homie, my son, some of the cats I grew up with, yeah, they got hoes. They black book is full of names. Can call anybody for a booty call or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you do that. Because he talks about how he shrunk, how nobody noticed him when he was around the homie Idris Elba, my boy Stringer. All right. Like, Deon Cole, please get out of the way, move. You know what I mean? Check your ego, man. Check your ego, all right? It's how us men, if our ladies, if our women, our significant others see someone that's fine or see somebody like, yeah, he get hoes. He get women. Beautiful. Watch the whole stand-up if you like that type of comedy, all right? So, ego again, but now we're going to get into some relationship advice 101 from a man that's been married many, many decades. 3 action tips that you might want to incorporate, that you might want to think about, okay? It's for everyone, but mostly for men, the toxic masculinity type ass men, the men that are that for whatever reason are unable or unwilling to do incorporate some of these recommendations that's only going to make your relationship stronger. Fool. Relationship enhancing and strengthening, just 3 to memorize. Number 1, willingness to accept third-party feedback, and I don't mean from your friends, your father, your mama. I don't mean from Pastor Jenkins talking about go read Ephesians, Ecclesiastes, Genesis, and every other book of the Bible. I ain't talking about that. Sometimes you need third-party, objective feedback. We've spoke about this before, and I'm continuing because this is how important it is. You need to make sure, memorize this shit. Get your pen and pencil and start writing this down, okay? Sometimes you need third-party feedback. You gotta be willing to trust third-party feedback and be willing to go to somebody and say, hey, I have some issues. I'm tired of going. I'm tired of going to Pastor Jenkins. All my homies say I should just leave the bitch. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to talk to, somebody that can listen to me. Be willing to look into that. Which is a perfect segue to the next recommendation. Number two, to get your relationship on point. The V word. Nurture and cultivate and take care of the V. And what I mean by that is vulnerability. Aren't you tired of shutting down, withdrawing, trying to give somebody the silent treatment? That shit don't work. And while I'm trying to give somebody the silent treatment, I'm over here feeling miserable because I don't have nobody to talk to. Now, what kind of shit is that? Talking about the silent treatment. No, man. Be able to say, and this is going to be hard, especially for you toxic motherfuckers, this is going to be hard. I'm scared of losing you. When you say this or when you do this, I feel vulnerable. I feel unloved. I feel unlistened to. You never say, when you say I feel, you don't follow that with a sentence. Saying you follow that with a feeling word, you understand? You don't say, I feel that you're an asshole. And if you stop being an asshole, everything would be all right. Nah. I feel unloved. I feel vulnerable. I feel scared. I feel frustrated. I feel angry. I feel a lack of empathy. I feel no compassion. I feel no empathy coming from your side of the corner. Talk to me from the heart sometimes, all right? Can you do that? Can you be, I feel offended, all right? I feel lonely. Can you say that? Without withdrawing? I feel that I don't want to lose you. I don't want you to leave me. Can you say that? Is that within your grasp? If you really love a motherfucker, can you say that? And finally, this is very important. Number three. When your mate, your lover sits down and y'all have a conversation and say I use myself for an example. My wife wants to vent. She wants to talk about some shit that happened at work. It's not my job to be Inspector Sherlock Holmes, Starsky and Hutch. It's my job to listen and to empathize. Do you understand? Listen and empathize. I didn't say solve. I didn't say come up with resolutions and answers and solutions. I didn't say that, did I? I said listen, fool, and empathize. If you can do that, look here. Your relationship will go a long way. Master these 3 techniques, and trust me, you will be on your way on the path to relationship enlightenment. All right? That's all I have. Ego Chronicles. We'll get into fears and desires next time. That's a Rick James song, ain't it? I mean, I know it's not fire and desire, but fears and desires, it's going to play a lot in your life because you're always thinking about them. Shit, let's go ahead and just get into it. Spiritual text. I got this from a spiritual test. What happens when we get what we detest, and what happens when we desire what we desire the most eludes us? Let me rephrase that because I kind of confused myself. Just think about this. What happens, and this is life, when we get what we don't want, and what happens when what we desire most eludes us? We can never get our hands on it. You have a fear of something, a fear of death, a fear of illness, a fear of losing love, and you have a desire for something. Success, money, fame, attention, and that these fears and desires, that these two, that this duality, this yin and yang, that this is what rules our lives, and this is what causes us so much suffering. What y'all think about that? Fears and desires, huh? Ooh. Hey, that's all I have. Until next time, I'll talk to you this weekend. Register to vote. Register to vote. Until next time, I'll leave you the same way I greeted you, with peace and love, y'all. Take care.